I've always been fascinated by the darkness that lurks within us all. The things we keep hidden, the secrets we bury deep down in the recesses of our minds. Some say that writing about these things is wrong, that it's inviting something terrible into the world. But I believe that confronting our fears head-on is the only way to truly understand them. It all began a few months ago, when I received an email from a man claiming to have a story to tell. His name was Daniel, and he said he had a tale to share that would make my skin crawl. I'm not one to turn down a challenge, so I agreed to meet him at a nearby diner. When Daniel arrived, I couldn't help but notice the way his eyes darted around the room, as if he were constantly scanning for something. He was a tall man with gaunt features and a pallor that made him look like a ghost. But it wasn't until he began speaking that I realized just how disturbed this man truly was. "There's something in my house," he whispered, his voice barely above a whisper. "I can feel it watching me, waiting for its chance to strike." At first, I thought Daniel was just another paranoid individual looking for attention. But as he continued to describe the horrors that plagued him nightly, I began to believe him. The things he told me defied logic and reason, yet I found myself drawn in by their grotesque allure. It started with a series of strange occurrences. Doors would slam shut on their own, objects would move without explanation, and Daniel swore that he could hear whispers in the dead of night. But it wasn't until the first victim turned up that things truly took a turn for the worse. Daniel found the body of his wife in their bedroom, her throat slit from ear to ear. The scene was grisly enough, but what truly sent chills down my spine was the way the killer had left a trail of gore leading out of the house. It was as if they wanted Daniel to follow it, to lead him directly into their trap. Since that fateful night, I've been in constant contact with Daniel. He sends me updates on the strange occurrences happening within his home, each one more horrifying than the last. But what truly terrifies me is the way he speaks of the killer. It's almost as if he admires them, as if they are some kind of twisted idol. "They are different," he told me once, his voice tinged with a strange reverence. "They are not like us. They are something else entirely." I tried to ignore his words, telling myself that Daniel was just another victim of the killer's twisted game. But as the body count continues to rise and the gore becomes more and more excessive, I can't help but wonder if he might be right. Is this truly just a killing spree, or is there something more sinister at play? As for me, I find myself drawn in by the darkness that Daniel speaks of. There's something alluring about the way he describes the killer, the way he paints them as some kind of supernatural being. But I know that if I don't tread carefully, I could easily become another victim of their twisted game. For now, I continue to listen to Daniel's stories, marveling at the gore and terror they contain. But deep down, I fear that one day, the killer will come for me as well. And when they do, I know that I won't be able to resist their siren call. Until then, I'll continue to document Daniel's tale, hoping that somewhere along the way, I might find a clue as to who or what is behind this gruesome massacre. But deep down, I know that there's no escaping the darkness that lurks within us all. And when it comes for me, there will be nothing left but blood and gore in its wake.